Well, I'm really excited for you because you got some really exciting news. You're going to be going to the Dana White Contender Series August 2nd. And before, the world gets to know who you are, you've been making a big name for yourself in the New England circuit. Now, tell me a little bit about when it all started for you.
So yeah, when I first came back, I fought before I left for the military. I was in the military for 6 years, and I did it as a combat controller, as special operations in the Air Force. But I fought a little bit back then. So I had my first fight in New England in 2011, I believe. So right when I graduated high school, I had my first fight. So yeah, I mean, it's been a while. So I've been training for a long time, but when I moved home from the military for the last 3 years, that's when I really focused on making this like a plan to, fight in the UFC. It's been my dream. It's been my goal for a long time. And, it's finally coming to reality. Pretty stoked.
And I understand you started MMA in high school. So what made you want to switch gears and join the military kind of in between that MMA journey?
Mostly my parents getting on my back. My dad's he was a college professor, and he's really big into education. So, he was kind of like, hey man, you need to figure out what you're going to do with your life. You're going to go to college, or you're going to go, join the military, or figure out something. You're not just going to fight. Back then it wasn't really a realistic dream just to fight and make it to the UFC that way. So, I think that's always been my calling anyways, because I ended up coming back to it at the end of the day. But, I joined the military, did that for 6 years. I really had an awesome job. Special operations was like, it was amazing. I got to do cool things, travel around the world, jump out of planes, scuba dive, worked with the best guys, the coolest guys in the world. I learned a lot about myself. I got challenged physically, mentally, and I'm way stronger, better person because I did that. So I'm happy I made that decision to go through that. And now I'm back to what what my passion is fighting.
Yeah. And you were, I want to make sure I get this right. You were a controller.
Yep.
Is that the right term?
Yeah, I was a combat controller.
Combat controller.
Yeah.
So tell me what that is. I'm not really familiar with that.
Yeah. So CCT is so we're in the Air Force. So everybody kind of like, oh, Air Force, because they're kind of nerds. But yeah, they are nerds. But with this. There's one job in there. There's a couple of jobs in the Air Force where we attach to Army Special Forces teams. So we have to be as physically we shoot, we move, we communicate, we do everything like in Army Special Forces or a Navy SEAL or a Green Beret or MARSOC. These are all special operations organizations. We're the same thing as them, but our main job on the battlefield is to call into airstrikes or call in medical resupplies, anything to do with the air to ground. I was like a radio guy that communicates between the air and the ground. So, it was a challenging job. There's a lot of responsibility, especially when you're calling in airstrikes and dealing with millions and millions of dollars aircraft and making sure you don't, kill your own guys by dropping bombs on your own teams and stuff. So it was a really, really like mentally and physically challenging job. So yeah, it was a really good experience, and I'm happy I did it.
And I'm sure it took a large mental toll on you. I mean, you were deployed in Afghanistan twice. So how were you able? Oh, it was once. Okay. So you were deployed to Afghanistan once. I mean, still once. Yeah. How were you able to adjust to, I guess you could call it a normal lifestyle when you came home?
It was funny because that's what kind of really got me back into martial arts is when I first came home. I was, just getting back into normal society was a little bit different. You get kind of isolated in Afghanistan for 6 months, and focus on missions, people, whatever, just surviving really. And you come back into normal society, and I was just kind of weird. I wasn't feeling myself. So I always did what I always like my entire life is when I'm struggling with something, I just kind of get back into the gym and start training martial arts, and just that's what my passion. That's what I love to do, and I just got into it. And some reason this time was like I just got better than ever. You know what I mean? It just kind of put everything into that and my mentality, and it helped me out. So martial arts really like saved me when I came back, and now it's becoming my dream. Like I get to actually do it every single day and train every day. It's been amazing. So it's been a really good transition. I definitely use the martial arts to help me transition back into normal society.
I mean, that's so admirable. And not only are you a fighter now, but you are a gym owner as well. You recently opened up the Controller MMA Proving Grounds. Where is that located again?
It's in West Wareham, Massachusetts. So it's kind of near the Cape Cod. If anybody knows Mass, it's like heading towards the Cape. One of the last exits before you get to the Cape. Yeah, it's great. I'm connected to a CrossFit gym, so that portion is pretty cool. I can use that gym to work out if I need to, and get my lift in. There's a little turf fields I can work out there. So it's called Seaside CrossFit. It's really good group, really great people over there. So, and I got my own little spot teaching kids classes, teaching adults. I just started up a team MMA training for partners, from getting bodies in there for me to help me get ready for my fight. And also, just, spreading my knowledge that, that I've been acquiring the last couple of years for MMA. And I feel it's been really good to helping out all the amateurs coming up. I feel like there's a lot of people that either do kickboxing or they do jiu-jitsu. It's kind of hard to find a good gym that's just doing MMA in this area. So I've been really trying to focus and bring that attention to that part of the martial
arts.
And
when I was doing a little bit of research on you, I noticed that you do kind of like to give back to the veterans, fire, police, first responders, because you had to deal with a lot of mental trauma. So it seems like you're kind of giving back. Do you feel like a sense of responsibility to give back to this community?
Absolutely. I just feel like I just know what helped me. You know what I mean? When I was going through any time dark, like I'd even do this in high school when I got broken up with a girlfriend or something like that. You know what I mean? I'd go into the gym and train, and that's just helped me keep my mind off things. So, and I did the same thing coming back from war. So I just think anybody who has any kind of struggle with PTSD or depression, anything, anxiety, I just think martial arts is such a good tool. So that's why I open up Sunday classes. I have a open mat for anybody who's veterans, first responders at 11 o'clock. Anybody can hop in, jump on the mats, and just get some rolls in. And, if anything, just talk to your friends, hang out. So it's pretty, pretty chill on those Sundays, but it's fun. It was good to get a roll and do some mat chat after.
Yeah. And speaking of training, I noticed, so recently it was announced that Massachusetts native Joshua Onujiogu was picked up by the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, yes.
And were you recently training with him? I saw him pop up on your Instagram.
Yeah. So, no, it's funny because, he's just been, me and him work out together, not doing the same workouts. Obviously, he's a monster. He's playing.
Because I was going to say.
He's in the same gym as me. So he's always working out there the same days. I'm during the day, in the middle of the day. Usually, other people have jobs. Me and him are in there a lot, so I see him in there, and so he's another kid. He's just came from a D3 college football, and he just making it to the big shows. He just believed in himself, and you know what I mean, proved a lot of people wrong. So it's really cool. It's inspiring to be around the guy. He's awesome. He's also a monster of a human being if you see the kid, but he's a really humble and hardworking kid. So I feel like me and him both have kind of share that we're supposed to not make it. I'm old right now. I'm turning 30 this next week, so I'm older and I'm still chasing my dreams, and he's kind of doing the same thing. So it's pretty cool to see him both coming out of the same gym this year. Getting my shot at the UFC, and he's getting his shot at the NFL.
Yeah, Massachusetts doing big things. It's exciting. So let's talk about your shot. It's so exciting coming up. Season 6, August 2nd. Now we're going up against Francis Marshall. This is very interesting. You're both 5-0. And I noticed that both of you guys have several victories by rear naked choke. So do you see a lot of wrestling for this fight? Or ideally, how do you see this going?
I feel like he's going to try to wrestle me for sure. I looked him up a little bit. He looks like a grappler from New Jersey. I know New Jersey has a good high school wrestling program, and I saw he was a good high school wrestler, and he strikes a little bit, but I just feel like I'm all over in every part of the game. I'm going to be way better than him. So if he wants to try to grapple me, bring me down, it's not going to be good for him. But if standing up, I just feel like I'm light years ahead of this kid. So, it's going to be a good fight. He's 5-0. I'm 5-0. 1-0's got to go. So it's not going to be mine. I know what I'm going to do when we go out there and
what's this guy?
This guy.
He's always got to interrupt.
That's not what it looks like. It's not what it looks like.
My wife. He's on the phone with my wife.
Hi, honey. Get out of here.
If you guys aren't following Connor, you need to right now. Get on the train right now.
Ross Levine, ladies and gentlemen. My goodness. Anyway, where were we? He couldn't resist. I knew he would do that. He couldn't resist. So let's see. Where were we? We were talking about okay. So 5-0. It's always exciting to be 5-0.
Yeah.
But do you feel a sense of pressure to keep it that way? Or is that just your hard work showing up on paper.
Yeah, I don't feel pressure at all, because that I'm, to keep the O. I've had failures in my life and other parts of my life, and I know they come, but it's a speed bump to me. You know what I mean? I'm just going to stay in the moment and just worry about what I got to do at that moment, at that time, all the way through my entire career. That's my plan. You don't want to look too far ahead. You don't want to look too far behind you. You just kind of focus on what you got to do now. And what I got to do right now is beat this kid, and that's it. So, yeah, the only pressure I have is coming out there and getting that contract. That's it.
Right.
But it's not even. For me, it's not even that much pressure. I just feel like this is what's meant to be. I put this all into existence since I got out of the military in the last 3 years, where I came from nothing at all. You know what I mean? Just getting out of the military to where I'm at right now, where I'm already fighting the Dana White Contender Series. So I'm not worried about it.
In an ideal world, we're going to get our hand raised.
Yep.
We're going to go up for that contract. If you were able to sit in front of Dana White and kind of vouch for yourself and say, this is why I deserve a contract, what would you say to him?
I've never mind just the skill set I have and the ability, my striking, my skill set across the board. I can compete with the top level guys in the UFC, and I believe in that. But I just feel like, I'm a guy that I'm marketable. You know what I mean? I'm a special operations guy. I represent a lot. I don't represent myself. I represent an entire community of special operations, specifically the Air Force, but all special operations members. And I feel like a lot of people can get behind that. So if you want to have a guy who's, out here to fight, I'm always going to put on a show. I'm a knockout artist. I drop people. So that's what I do. And I can grapple. So I'm put on a show, and I'm marketable. So I think I'm exactly what the UFC needs right now. And especially from a guy from New England. So.
Well, congratulations, Connor. It's so exciting. I'm sure you have a long fight camp ahead of you. It looks like you're well into your fight camp now. Are you training right now?
Yeah, it's just training. Obviously, just saw Ross here. So, yeah, I'm right now training up at Hard Knocks. I just had a pass session with Jake Manini. So he's been a huge help these last 3 years, getting me on board and getting me on par, striking and everything. So, yeah, fight camp for me doesn't really stop. If anything, when I get into my fight camps, I just rest up a little bit before my fights. So the only thing maybe is I just don't cheat in my diet as much and make sure I make weight. So I'm always in fight camp. This is what I love to do. It's my passion. So it's like, it doesn't feel like, I think some people, they think fight camp is like, oh, I have to be in fight camp, blah, blah, blah. I just enjoy it. I enjoy every part of this entire thing. So.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. August 2nd, we're going to see you on the big stage, and hopefully you get that contract, and best of luck in your journey.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on, Maddie.